What's up, y'all? My name is Kenyatta. So tax return season is upon us once again. I know a lot of you guys look forward to this time because you want to spend that money to do something fun. Maybe you want to take a nice vacation, or maybe you want to buy some expensive things that you like. And I get that, but this year I want to challenge you guys to do something different. Tax refund season is the perfect time to pour back into yourself so you can improve your financial situation and your future for yourself and for your family. So in this video, I'm going to go over a few different ways you can make the most of your tax return this year. Before I start, please take a second to hit the like button for me and subscribe. Okay, let's jump in. The first way I suggest you use your tax refund is to pay off debt. Now, I know this doesn't seem like fun at all, but paying off debt can really help improve your financial situation and can also relieve a ton of stress. Plus, once you get done paying off that debt, all the money you were putting towards monthly minimum payments is now free and you can do whatever you want with it. If you have any high interest debt, meaning anything with an interest rate above 5%, and definitely if you have anything with an interest rate that's double digits, you should consider paying that off ASAP. So one of the most common forms of high interest debt is credit card debt. So if you have any of that hanging around, you should definitely take this time to use your tax refund to pay down that balance or possibly pay it all off depending on how much debt you have and how much you get back in your tax return. You may also have some other debt that's not high interest, say something like a medical bill, or maybe you have furniture debt that has a 0% interest period. This is also a great time to use a tax refund to pay that off as well while you have the money so that it doesn't become a problem later. The second way you can use your tax refund is to build an emergency savings fund. If you get a chunk of money back this year and you don't have any debt to pay off, you should beef up your emergency savings fund. An emergency savings fund is keeping 3 to 6 months of your expenses in cash, preferably in a high yield savings account. You should always have this fund around, basically as an umbrella in case you ever need to weather a storm. If you lose your income, this will allow you to pay your bills while you figure out what you're going to do next. It will essentially buy you some time before things get bad. If you're watching this video, it means you survived 2020, and that means you know how quickly and how dramatically life can change. So do yourself a favor and prepare a safety net for you and your family in case you guys fall on hard times. An emergency fund is not only good to have if you lose your income, but it can also help you cover unexpected but necessary expenses, like say a car repair. It basically will help you cover these expenses without having to go into high interest debt with credit cards or a payday loan. The third way you can use your tax refund is to save for short-term goals. Paying off debt and saving are essential in my opinion, so I would recommend you handle those things first. However, if you already tackled those things, saving for a short-term goal is also a great way to use your refund. So if you're saving for something like maybe a house in a few years, or if you know your car is getting old and you're going to have to replace it in the next couple of years, those are things you might want to start saving for. Adding your tax refund to your short-term savings in addition to what you're saving monthly towards those goals is a great way to fast track your goal. The fourth thing you can do with your tax refund is to invest. So those first three suggestions of paying off debt and saving in different ways may not have been all that exciting, but this one is. You can use your tax refund to invest and watch the market go. If you've been thinking about getting started in the stock market, now is as good a time as any. I would recommend you open a Roth IRA. A Roth allows you to save for retirement, but unlike your employer-supplied retirement account, which is probably a 401k or maybe a 403b, with a Roth, you have full control over what stocks and mutual funds are purchased within that account. So basically, you can still get the excitement of picking your favorite companies like Apple or Nike, and you can watch your retirement savings grow. I personally have a Roth IRA with Fidelity. I also have other non-retirement accounts with them. I haven't had any major issues with Fidelity, so I would recommend them to anybody who wants to get started. There are plenty of companies out there that will allow you to open a Roth IRA and start investing in stocks. So it doesn't truly matter which one you pick. Go ahead and pick one and get started. Like I mentioned earlier, you can invest in individual stocks like, say, for example, Amazon, but I actually would recommend that you get into a fee-free index fund. I'm invested in FZROX, which is the Fidelity Zero Total Market Index Fund. This fund has no fees, hence the zero, and it tracks the total investable market index, which means it will have results that correspond to the return of a diverse range of large, mid-sized, and small U.S. stocks. This fund has over 2,000 stocks, has no investment minimums, and allows you to buy fractional shares. So Fidelity allows you to place trades for free, and considering the fact that this fund doesn't have any fees, you can start with as little as $10 and buy a fractional share of this fund and get started. The fifth way you can use your tax refund is to invest in your self-improvement. If there's anything you've been thinking about doing to improve yourself, why not do it now? If you've been thinking about taking some trade classes, or maybe you want to get your realtor's license, why not use your tax refund to pay for that? If you want to start an LLC, use that money to go ahead and get started. If you already have a business or a side hustle, then you can use this money to purchase products or services that will help elevate your business. So for example, maybe you finally want to buy that proper mixer to help speed up your cupcake making process of your baking business. Maybe you want to use the money to invest in hedge clippers so you can take your lawn service to the next level. Or in my case, I'm going to buy an external hard drive so I can have more space to store all the content I've been creating for YouTube. There are plenty of ways for you to invest in yourself to help improve your skills and level up. The sixth thing you can do with your tax refund is to take care of some responsibilities that are actually going to come up in the future. So for example, if you know you're going to need 4 new tires in your car sometime relatively soon, this is a good opportunity to put that money aside just for that. Or maybe you know that it's time for a new roof. You can go ahead and put that money towards that. There might be things that are going to come up in your life that you know are coming and you know need to be taken care of. So you can go ahead and put the money towards that now instead of waiting for it to roll around and then having to put it on credit or having to get a payday loan to do it. Okay, so now that I've given my opinion on different ways you can use your tax refund this year, I want to have a little conversation about why I think you should take my suggestion. So really the major point I kind of want to get at with this is that financial literacy is not just something that you have to have an interest in. It's something that you need to know about. It's something that you need to be aware of so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and for your family. And we can make excuses all day about, oh, you know, we get this money once a year and we want to take a nice vacation, or we want to buy I don't know what people are buying, new AirPods or whatever. But you really should take this opportunity to put yourself ahead. When we get lump sums of money, we should do our best to plan for our financial future. So save, pay off debt, all that kind of stuff I mentioned earlier. It's so imperative. Like, this is the reason why a lot of us struggle, because we don't want to make those, you know, short-term sacrifices for long-term stability. So sometimes you're gonna have to sacrifice. Like if at this moment you wanted to take your tax refund and put a down payment on a car that you don't need but you want, you should ask yourself, like, is my 2014 Honda still getting the job done? If the answer is yes, then stick with your Honda. Like, you don't need to go put a down payment on a new, what do people like, Jeep Cherokees? That's a waste of your money when you could use that money to, again, set up your financial safety net, put yourself ahead. This is the conversations I feel like we should be having and we should be doing, because, you know, people don't talk about this kind of stuff enough, in my opinion. And it just, you know, we find ourselves struggling, needing to borrow, needing help when we could have helped ourselves so many times over. It's so easy to feel like it's hard to save, and I get that, especially if your income isn't super high. But most of us have moments throughout the year where we have a little bit of surplus. And I'm not saying you don't deserve to have fun, you don't deserve to treat yourself every now and then, but I think it's important to be realistic as well. I think it's important to realize that you might have a whole year or 2 or 3 where you don't really get to splurge because you're working towards something greater. And once you get to that greater place, then you can start to treat yourself a little bit more. But sacrificing for the short term in order to have long-term stability, that's something that we have to get comfortable with. We have to get comfortable with doing that. We're so busy looking at what the Joneses are doing. It's actually not cool at all, because you don't really know what they're actually doing. You know, you can't see into somebody else's bank account. You can't see into somebody else's credit card statements. And even if you could, that person has what's going on for them. What about you? What's going on for you? And, you know, we want to buy these things mostly to show off to other people, whether we are conscious of it or not. So we should take a look at that as well to understand, like, why we don't need to be doing these things. There are more important things. There are things that matter more. So I think it's important to kind of start looking at the bigger picture of money. You know, money is a tool. You can use it to help you, or it can hurt you if you don't know what you're doing, or if you choose not to take advantage of the information out here about how to properly use your money. So don't be one of those people who lets money kind of weigh you down. You can be one of those people who uses money to put yourself in a position of power. So all these things I mentioned can kind of help you put yourself in that position of power. Like I said, bettering yourself, taking courses, building your skill set, all that kind of stuff is going to help you in the future, help you increase your income, help you create financial stability for yourself and for your family. Also, another reason why I feel like you should take my suggestion is it can help you get out of this victim mindset. You know, when things happen to us, we're so quick to want to blame the government, or you want to blame your job for laying you off, or you want to blame all these people for all these things that happen to you. And sometimes bad things do happen to good people, but in general, we have the ability to take matters into our own hands, and we just choose not to. We have the ability to plan. We have the ability to affect our own trajectory. So this is an opportunity for you to start stepping into that, stepping into your own power instead of letting other people have power over you. When you give your money away to these frivolous things, it's like you're giving up your power. You know, like I said, money is a tool. So this is a great opportunity for you to take that back and start building a position of power for yourself. Another reason why I feel like you should take my suggestion is because this is a great time to start your financial literacy journey. I think everybody should start it at some point, and no matter what age you are, now is a great time for you to start if you haven't done that already. So I said that to say a lot of people like to use ignorance as an excuse. If I don't know about financial literacy, if I don't know X, Y, and Z, then I can go blow my money on whatever. I didn't know any better. I didn't know that I was supposed to be building my credit. I didn't know that I was supposed to be saving an emergency fund. I didn't know that I was supposed to pay off high interest debt. But the thing is, you're not going to know unless you want to know. So this is a great time to go ahead and start figuring out what's going on and how you can, be in control. I know a lot of people use the excuse and say money is made to be spent. Money comes and money goes. And that's true in a way, but really money is a tool. You don't want to be out here without any tools in your toolbox when you're presented with a problem. When life makes you build a house out of nothing and you don't have any tools in your tool belt, what are you going to do? But I guess you really need to look at the bigger picture, in my opinion, and look at your life. If you expect to live for 10 more years, if you expect to live for 20, 30, 40, 50 more years, then you should ask yourself, like, do I really just want to throw my money away? If I expect to be here until I'm 85, I should do some planning with my money to help me out along the way. I'm not saying that you should hoard all your money and never spend any money, but there is a way to balance these things where you can make smart decisions with your money that will help you in the future so you can have fun and do those things you want to do and take your kids on those vacations and have those nice experiences. But you got to sacrifice in the short term to get to those long-term goals. But yeah, I really just want to get the point across that money is a tool, money is power, money is how you take your control. I mean, if you live in America anyway, if you live somewhere else, maybe that's a different conversation. But here, if you don't have money, then you're not in a position of power. Or even if you do have money, but you let other people control your money, then you're not in a position of power. And so you have to learn how to get there. And it doesn't necessarily happen overnight, but you have to be willing and want to make those changes. And it's going to require sacrifice. I would never just say, oh yeah, you can snap your fingers and all of a sudden you're going to make 50% in the stock market and your retirement funds are going to boom and you're going to have all this money in the bank. And it's not that simple, but you have to start somewhere. And that's it. You just got to start. So that's the thing about it. Like, I just feel like sometimes we need to hear that. I feel like sometimes we need guidance that we didn't get growing up, that we didn't see growing up, that we didn't see from adults around us doing. And we don't want to repeat those cycles. So if you don't want to repeat those cycles, you have to do something different. So taking financial literacy into your own hands, taking control of your money, putting yourself in a position of power, these are all things that you have the opportunity now to do. And I think that you should. So that kind of just my little rant about this. I just kind of feel like sometimes we might need a push. Might need people to say things to us that we've never heard before. A lot of us didn't grow up talking about money and don't know much about it. So I wanted to take this opportunity to throw that out there for you. If this is your first time hearing it, maybe you've heard it before, but you need that little push. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you made it to this point in the video, I really want to take a second to thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you could hit the like and subscribe button for me, that would be great. Also, if you want to share this video with people who you think could benefit from learning about financial literacy, if they need guidance on how to spend their tax return, go ahead and share this with those people. All right, again, thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.